So stay tuned, because right now we're getting to know your business. For Know Your Business, we get to speak to Portia Dhlamini, who recently launched her fashion e-commerce business called Native Nylon. Portia is the first beneficiary of the Khula Lula microfund. Khula Lula is founded by Milisa Mabinza. Under her sole leadership, Khula Lula in its first year has committed funding to the tune of 200,000 rands to the upcoming fashion e-commerce startup Native Nylon, founded by Portia. Khula Lula is a private equity funding company which is active in addressing the disproportionate capital funding opportunities that are available to young black women-led startups in the technology field. Now they've started with their initial investment into Portia Dhlamini's Native Nylon, and they are now helping her realize her entrepreneurial dream. Let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Portia Dhlamini, the CEO and founder of Native Nylon. Native Nylon is a fashion e-commerce store that was started August 2020, and we are basically a brand that aims to bridge the gap between affordability and luxury for South African women. The reason I started a fashion store was simply because I've always had this passion for fashion. From a very young age, I would watch fashion shows, makeover shows, whatever the case was, and I saw myself do that. The unfortunate part is that black families don't necessarily encourage creativity a lot, so I didn't really get time to sit on the idea. And also, another side of me was that I've always been very entrepreneurial. I always knew that I wanted to start my own businesses. Now, I started a fashion e-commerce store because of the fact that today's generation is too lazy to go shop and whatnot, and I felt like what could match what they wanted, which was a shopping experience, could be matched up with them being able to shop at their fingertips. So my process of getting funding was that beginning of this year, Khula Lula, which is a VC funding tech startup, had this competition where they were willing to fund anyone with a fashion or a beauty store idea with 200,000 rand. And so when I saw that, it was a sponsored tweet. When I saw the ad, I thought, this is interesting, right? Let me give it a try. Let me shoot my shot. And here we are today. I went through the whole process. I got interviewed. I submitted my business proposal, the works. And Lisa, who is the founder of Khula Lula, ended up going with Native Nylon because she was really impressed with what we were trying to do with Native Nylon. VC is basically venture capitalism. These people exist as angel investors into any business idea. So you give them a business idea, and if it's scalable and if it's a good business idea, they give you money. Some look into acquiring shares from the company. Others don't necessarily want anything like that. They probably just like, okay, we'll give you the money, please pay us back after this term, or whatever the case is. From Lisa's perspective, my ideas were really fresh. They were very innovative, as she says, and my work ethic proved that I could actually do or run the business with her, because what happened was, throughout the whole term, we had to, she would give us different activities, and she'd be like, please do this for the business in case you were to be chosen, please do that, and when she saw how optimistic I was in getting everything done, she was just very impressed. So the one thing she really raves about is Portia's work ethic, and I deliver. People do have this assumption that she's just pretty, she does not necessarily know much, and I think to be quite honest, for any black woman out there, you always have to prove yourself, you always have to work twice as hard. People don't truly believe that you are capable of doing anything with just looking at you. So it hasn't really been a long time since people found out that I am the sole owner, the founder and CEO of Native Nylon. However, I haven't really thought much about it. But I do believe that there's that underlying assumption that she always has to prove herself first, which I sometimes feel, because you're like, hey, I have a store, a fashion e-commerce store. You get looks like, why fashion, why e-commerce? There's a lot that goes on, but yeah, overall, I don't necessarily consider a lot of it. Yeah, sometimes it really does get me insecure because it makes me feel like I'm not the only one out there. but I think I am more dedicated to the vision of Native Nylon than I am of, okay, are we pleasing people or not? I personally, when I was doing my research, this is one of the things that I really found out, that one of the reasons why most South Africans are not buying online simply because of the phones that they have. So we're not as advanced as we think we are with technology, and it's taking us a little bit longer, right, to get there. It's only now that South Africans are transitioning to the digital space. And I think I'm very positive really about where it's going, because our retail, like women's apparel and whatnot, shopping specifically, and our fashion e-commerce spaces are really growing exponentially, and they're expected to triple in 2022. So I'm really, really excited about that, because I need to survive as a store. I need my brand to survive. To any lady, young child, whoever out there, right, who's looking for inspiration, firstly, I just want to say, start. If you have an idea, right, and you're looking to open up a business or whatever the case is, start. And then secondly, I just want to highlight how important it is for us as Black women to be represented in spaces like this. It's not every day that you find Black women in business. It's not every day that you find Black women in tech startups, especially. So I truly am a firm believer in advocating for Black women and making space. You know, we need to cement ourselves properly, in the words of Miss Universe. We need to cement ourselves and take space. And I'm really glad that I am one of thousands of women who are readily doing this, or actively doing this. You know, we actively trying to make the next generation of women see that this thing is possible. Yes, dare to dream big, and afford yourself that opportunity to like dream big, dream wild. If you want to start a fashion e-commerce store, don't let anyone stop you. Go for it. Really, really go for it. We do need women, especially Black women, in business. We do need women in different industries, and it's just, yeah, it's a rewarding experience, and I would